Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to chapter 3 of the Edfield Chronicles. And this afternoon, I am joined with Gillian. How are you doing this afternoon?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great too, thank you very much. So, first female to appear. How does that make you feel today?
I feel honored that I'm the first female here. It's like a big thing for me.
Okay.
I feel great that I'm the first female.
Okay. So, this is the Edfield Chronicles, right? It is a platform, it is a podcast where people get to, express themselves. The hidden stories get to come out. What's your take on what has happened so far in the previous 3 chapters?
A lot has happened, and from what I've watched so far, it seems interesting and catchy. It's getting a lot of attention and a lot of eyes.
Okay.
So I just feel positive about everything that's happening.
Absolutely. Right now, we move on to you. I know who you are, but now they need to know who you are. So, who is Gillian? Does she have talents? Does she have skills? What does she do exactly?
I am Gillian. I love reading and I write poetry, but then I don't submit it to anything. I just keep it to myself. I'm ambitious and outgoing. I love going out. I do. And I'm very social.
So you talked about your passion for poetry. Do you have any idea on how that began?
I just know my mom bought me a journal when I was like in 8th grade. It wasn't my first journal, but then I just started writing, and then until I realized that I actually wrote a poem. And then I showed it to my mom and my sister. So from there, I just write whenever I feel like writing.
Do you have any other talents that you would say that they are hidden in a way?
Not any that I've discovered, but I'm sure they are.
Okay, we now move to the main aspect, the reason why you're on the Chronicles today. So, your chapter was entitled Welcome to G's World. And as the production for this podcast, I felt like this was superior because for me, it's like you live in your fantasy world. You have your own ideas, you have your own ambitions, But now, let's try to verify that. We're going to talk about Edfield Building. You used to stay here, right? So, what are some of your fondest memories that you have in this building?
I have so many memories here. This is where I grew up. I'm sure I have like 5 years in this building of memories with friends. I made new friends, I met new people. Some left, some are still here, and it was great. My time here was great.
One of the people that have already passed on the show in the first chapter quoted that there's been a lot of dirty memories that has happened in this building. Do you recall by any that have occurred?
There were a lot of dirty stuff that happened in this building with several people. A lot, but then I'm not going to name any.
Not gonna name any. Okay, now we're gonna move on to your story. You were one of the most decorated females in this building. There were few ladies in this building by your time, and you created lots of memories. One of them went by the name Siphosihle. So, the introduction to this is that you guys have dated 3 times, right? Now, you guys dated 3 times. Why was it 3 times and not just once?
Well, the first time things didn't work out. The second time things didn't work out again. And then the third time things were sort of working, and then we broke up.
Particularly, why?
Well, when he broke up with me, he told me that he can't do long distance anymore because I had moved from the flat. I was now living somewhere else. So he told me he can't do long distance relationships anymore.
Amongst the other reasons that I had observed about during the programming of the show, it was that his cousin was involved. So, how would you describe the involvement of his cousin in your relationship with him?
Well, his cousin came by, and then me and his cousin went to talk, and then I hugged his cousin. So I think his cousin told him about it, or he saw us hugging, and then, yeah, he just left. But then I didn't see it as a breakup. But yeah, that's how his cousin is involved.
Lots of teenagers in the building have quoted out that, you know, it was a bit difficult for him to get intimate with you. Would you describe why was that?
Well, I was difficult. I was. I didn't like being touched. And also, like, I don't know, I was just being hard on him. And I don't have a good reason why. I was just being hard on him. Because it was my first time being in a real relationship.
So would you describe that as immaturity?
I was.
So I believe it has been 2-3 years later on now. Do you believe that you have gained maturity?
I believe so.
So if you were to go back into a relationship right now, what would you do differently?
Everything. Yeah, everything. Like the intimacy and everything. Yeah.
So when you dated him 3 times, in between the 3 stages that it happened in, do you have any regrets that you did? Something you feel like you should have not done it because it had affected you or him in a particular way?
Yeah. I feel like I wasn't spending much time with him, and also I was distant, you know. I wasn't like always available.
Okay, so the big question that people want to know, did you or did you not date his cousin?
No, I did not.
You did not date his cousin. So his cousin did not attempt in any particular way to try and date you.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put it in that way. I'd just say like his cousin came to me, told me, you know, I'm beautiful, you know, sweet talk words and stuff. And then we hugged, and then it just ended there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you aware that they were cousins?
No, at the time, no. I just knew I because I saw him with his cousin, but at the time I didn't know they were cousins. I thought
Okay.
they were like friends or something.
Okay. You know, a lot has happened since that moment on, and coming into the present tense now, how would you describe your relationship with him as of the present?
Okay, we're cool on my side. I feel like we're okay. You know, we talk. Things aren't weird. We laugh. Yeah, it's better than how it used to be before.
And in the present times, has there been a thought in your mind that has came, perhaps if you can try again?
No,
No particular thought.
no, because after he broke up with me, it took me time to heal from that. So when I healed, I told myself I don't want anything to do with him. And then he came to me later on asking if we could be friends, and I was like, okay, so I see myself as his friend. I regard him as a friend. So thinking of him and me in a relationship again for the 4th time would be wild.
Indeed. You've said much about him. It's time to move on to the next one. He goes by the name Peter. I'm just going to give you an introduction before we move into it. It was last year. He was sitting by the steps. He was on his phone, and then he had texted you. He said you were hot like fire. Did you receive a text that said anything like that?
Multiple times.
And how was your initial reaction to his comments about you like that?
Most of the time when I receive his text, I'm just like, he's bluffing, you know. He's just bored. It's just a crush, it'll fade. But it continued, and I just got over it.
Do you believe that he was serious when he told you that he had liked you?
For a short time, yes. Then I thought no, because like I didn't think he'd be like that interested in me that much, and also because I regarded him as a friend. We were good friends, yeah.
So, you and him being in a possible relationship is not possible.
No.
And the reason being because of the point that you just mentioned right now.
Yes, and also I don't see him in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I regard him as a friend and also a brother.
As a friend, as a brother. So, it's very interesting on how you were involved multiple times in romantic entanglements with some of the guys in the show. Which one of them were you serious about? Who were you serious about?
I was like with the people I was in past relationships with.
Yes, in the building, particularly in this building. Since he was the one, since
Yeah.
it's him only,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure that you're not hiding any other name. But we're gonna focus on him. Did you like him, or did you love him?
I liked him, and then I loved him. Yeah. And then when I started loving him, gaining those love feelings for him, that's when he broke up with me. So it hurt a lot.
What did you like about him? A few characteristics about him that you found interesting.
His vibe, he was always a happy person, a loud person. He'd be jolly. Whenever he's there, the crowd laughs. You know, he's just someone who's great to be around.
Someone great to be around. Is that one of your favorite characteristics about him? Okay. So, did he approach you, or was it a thing of, okay, I think you like me, I think I like you, let's try something out? So, that intro part, how was it?
He approached me, and I rejected him several times until I just decided, let me give him a try. And at first I was excited and everything, but then I was also scared since it was like my first relationship.
Was there any person in particular that got influenced apart from his cousin? Was there any other person that got involved, maybe said things, or someone got cheated on, anything in that regard?
Apart from his cousin, I don't think anyone else is involved.
You were not jealous when there were females around you?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes I was, then sometimes I'm just like, okay, they're just friends. So I'll remind myself that, okay, they're just friends.
Okay. It was so good to have you on the show. You were the first female to have appeared on the Edfield Chronicles. We still have a long way to go before the big finale, the reunion show. What do you think is going to transpire on the reunion show?
I think a lot of secrets are going to come out. The truth is going to be told. People are going to express how they feel about each other, and just get closure. Yeah. So I feel like it will be good for everyone because we'll know where we all stand in each other's lives.
Several people on the show tell me that they have bombshells ready to shoot. Do you have anything that on the final day you're like, okay, I'm gonna release this one to feel free and to get closure? Do you have anything ready?
No, not exactly. All I have is just to get closure with people and to know where I stand in their lives, whether I'm still a part of their lives or not. I don't think I have any bombshells to drop on anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we've come to the conclusion of the show. Is there any other comment you'd like to add?
I'd just like to say to the ones following after me, they should have fun and just say what's in their hearts.
Okay, thank you very much. And there we have, ladies and gentlemen, that was chapter 3. Welcome with G. Until next time, goodbye.